Power, as philosopher Bertrand Russell puts it, is the ability to produce intended effects. That ability is now in all our hands. Today, we have the capacity to make films, friends, or money, to spread hope or spread our ideas, to build community or build up movements, to spread misinformation or propagate violence, all on a vastly greater scale and with greater potential impact than we did even a few years ago. Yes, this is because technology has changed, but the deeper truth is that we are changing. Our behaviours and expectations are changing, and those who have figured out how to channel all this energy and appetite are producing Russell's intended effects in new and extraordinarily impactful ways. Think of the hoodie-clad barons who sit atop online platforms, 1 billion users strong, tweaking our daily habits, emotions and opinions. The political neophytes who have raised passionate crowds and won stunning victories. The everyday people and organisations who are leaping ahead in this chaotic, hyper-connected world, while others fall back. This book is about how to navigate and thrive in a world defined by the battle and balancing of two big forces. We call them old power and new power. Old power works like a currency. It is held by a few. Once gained, it is jealously guarded, and the powerful have a substantial store of it to spend. It is closed, inaccessible, and leader-driven. It downloads, and it captures. New power operates differently, like a current. It is made by many. It is open, participatory, and peer-driven. It uploads and it distributes. Like water or electricity, it's most forceful when it surges. The goal with new power is not to hoard it, but to channel it. To start to see how old and new power work, here are 3 very different stories. #MeToo versus Harvey Weinstein. Awards season after awards season, movie producer Harvey Weinstein ruled over Hollywood like a god. In fact, between 1966 and 2016, he actually tied with God for the total number of times each was thanked in acceptance speeches on Oscar night, 34. His films garnered over 300 Oscar nominations. The Queen made him an honorary commander of the British Empire. Weinstein hoarded his power and spent it like currency to maintain his vaunted position. He could make or break a star. He had huge personal capacity to green-light a project or sink it. He shaped the fortunes of an entire industry, and in turn, that industry protected him, even as he carried out a decades-long spree of alleged sexual harassment and assault. He controlled the media through developing a cosy, mutually beneficial relationship based on the favours and access he could grant. He even won the 2017 Los Angeles Press Club Truth Teller Award. He buffeted himself with an army of lawyers, relying on punishing non-disclosure agreements for those who worked with him and, when necessary, paying off accusers. He hired private security firms staffed with former spies to dig for information on women and journalists with allegations against him. The women he preyed upon mostly kept quiet anyway, out of the very real fear of career consequences, while the men who might have stepped up stood by and did nothing, unwilling to spend their own power on a fight. If Harvey Weinstein and the closed and hierarchical system that held him up tell a familiar story about old power, then Weinstein's fall, and especially what happened next, tells us a lot about how new power works and why it matters. In the days after news stories broke about Weinstein and his accusers, the actress Alyssa Milano shared the hashtag #MeToo to encourage women to tell their stories of sexual harassment and assault on Twitter. Terry Conn paid attention. In her 20s, as an emerging actress with a role on a soap opera, Conn had been approached by director James Toback to meet in Central Park to talk about a part. Once there, as she reported to CNN, he assaulted her. She buried the memory for years, but with the attention on Harvey Weinstein and the rise of the #MeToo movement, it resurfaced. She finally told her husband, and she started to act. She began by searching Twitter for women who had used both the #MeToo hashtag and #JamesToback. She found others whose stories were frighteningly close to hers. Together, they formed a private Twitter group to support one another and find other survivors. Members of this group then took their stories to a journalist at the Los Angeles Times. Within days of an article being published, more than 300 women came forward with stories of their own about Toback.